Okay, so I've got 2 pounds, just over 2 pounds of pork shoulder. Now it's got a bone in there, so we're gonna have to work around that bone. What I wanna do is I wanna make slices. Now I'm not doing real thin slices like if I was gonna do samgyeopsal or bulgogi. I'm gonna slice it about like that. And the reason being is we're gonna stack it on the rotisserie. Okay, marinade for our pork. In here I have about a cup of pineapple. Now some fruits are very good at helping to marinate and tenderize meat, and normally like traditionally in Korean cooking you would use pear, but apple's also used. Now pineapple in tacos al pastor they use pineapple, so I'm going with pineapple. Alright, so in there I've got 2 adobo chilies. These are the spicy ones you get in a can. Just a little bit of adobo sauce on there. I've got a 1/4 cup of ssamjang. This is the Korean red pepper paste with daejeon already mixed into it. A little easier, saves me some work. I've got 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. Whoops, oh, kind of making some noise there. I've got 4 cloves of garlic and 1/2 teaspoon of ginger. If my garlic was already crushed up, I would use 1/2 teaspoon of that as well. Now, I've got some red onion. I've got a small red onion. I'm using 1/2 of that. We're going to put that in there. I've got 2 green onions or scallions. We're going to put that in there also. I've got an orange. We're going to squeeze that in here. Once again, it's also a common ingredient for tacos al pastor, which I happen to really like. Those of you that follow me on Instagram would have seen the pictures I took of the tacos al pastor in Koreatown. Now, I've got some sesame oil. We're going to put a teaspoon of sesame oil in here. We're going to blend this up. Okay, our meat's all cut up. Now, one thing I forgot to show you is I've cut a hole right there in the center because I'm going to need that to be able to stack the meat on the rotisserie. Now, we're going to put our marinade in here. You want to get all of that. Now this marinade is spicy. Which is why I'm wearing the gloves. I don't want to get that stuff all over my hand. Maybe stain my fingernails. We're going to mix this up. And then we need this to marinate for a few hours. Alright, for our coleslaw, I've got 2 cups of cabbage that I've sliced up really fine. And we're going to put about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we're going to let this set and let that salt do its work. So our cabbage has been sitting here for a little while. You can see how it's all wet now. And that's from the moisture that's being drawn out of it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to taste it. I'm tasting for salt. Yeah, it's a little salty. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rinse it off in the sink and I'll be right back. Okay, so I rinsed off my cabbage. Basically I just put it in this little strainer, run some cold water over it, rinsed off most of the surface salt. It's got a nice texture to it now. Now, I'm not quite done. I've got a green onion. Got this cute little tool here. Very good for shredding up green onions and stuff like that. Now, we're going to take this and we're going to cut it into small pieces. Now, we've got our green onion all shredded up into nice small pieces. Put that in there. Got a radish. Got a microplane grater. This will give a nice little bite to our coleslaw. Okay, so now we're going to put in about 1/2 teaspoon roasted sesame seeds. And we're going to want about a tablespoon of mayonnaise. thing all I want is a tablespoon. We're going to give our coleslaw a mix. Let all these flavors kind of come together. And then we'll put it in the refrigerator. And you want to make this ahead of time so that everything has a good chance to combine a little bit. Coleslaw is always better when it's made ahead of time. So our meat's been marinating for a couple hours. We're ready to put it on our rotisserie thing. Let's see. Find our hole. Try to get this on there. May have to force these down a little bit. We're just going to stack them up. Okay, now this thing didn't have room for all of my meat, which is okay. I mean, you can do this meat on the grill too, or you can do it in a pan. Don't get too excited. Turn the light on so you can see. Stop. There we go. All right, temp. Let's do 325. There we go. Now I want to start it out on a low temperature so that it kind of cooks the meat through, and then just before we start cutting some meat off, we're going to raise the temperature to brown up the outside. Okay, now I'm starting to see some signs of getting done. Let's go ahead and stop this. I'm going to take this out. Try not to spill it. Anyway, let me get it out of here. So I took the tray that it was sitting in. I dumped out all the excess grease. Now I'm going to come around here to a little bit of this that's nice and crispy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shape this just a little bit. See, like this piece is falling off. We're just going to put it right there. This piece right here, we're going to cut that off. Oh yeah. Look at there. Get this piece that's hanging down. That's good. A little bit here. There. There we go. Now it's just going to kind of shape that up for us a little better. And these other pieces we might cook just a little bit more in a pan or something. And we're going to put this back in here on a high temperature. All right, so we went ahead, we put this on 450, and we're going to give it a start, and we're going to let that finish cooking, and we'll just keep slicing meat off as we go along. All right, now one of the things that we want to do, we've got some jalapenos, got some oil here, and we're going to blister these jalapenos on all sides. I'm using about a medium heat, and what we're going to do is we're just going to keep stirring these things around in the oil until they get blistered all the way around. All right, as you can see, these things have some color on them now. You know, how much to put on there is all up to you. I think that looks good. I'll put them on some paper towels. Now, one thing, you can use this oil again. Just remember that you've cooked chili peppers in here because it's going to be a little bit spicier. It's going to pick up a little flavor. Be good for stir frying something, though. Ain't hurting nothing. All right, see how this is all nice and got some char on it? We're going to take and we're going to cut this off. Yeah, I'm not as good as this guy's in a taqueria, you know. All right, so we've got our meat here. Some of it's got nice char, some of it's not. So we've got kind of a mixture of textures. And we're just going to dice this up and for tacos. All right, first thing we're going to do, we're going to put down some of our avocado salsa. I've got a video of that. I'll put a link to that. It should pop up right about here where I made this before. Now we're going to take, I'm going to put some of our pork in here. There we go. I'm going to put some of our coleslaw. Some of that down. All right. Okay, so the question we always ask, how does it taste? Mm.